Nigga scared to look Medusa in the eyes while I'm in her bathroom doing her hair, having a deep conversation, locking eyes with her through the mirror. I guess I'm truly built different.
Trying to get out of my head. I'm losing the bet. Trying to tell you that I'm losing my mind. Baby, that is half the time. We're running in circles, I swear, but that is alright. We will get home again. It's alright. Just trying to smile.
And welcome back to another episode of the 8.1 billion podcast. And like the first two Logic albums, this one is recorded before the first. Meaning, I do have an episode lined up, it's in the studio, but I wanted to get this one out since this would be a lot easier to record on everyone's schedule. You got me, he's always available. You got myself, he's available like 6 days a week. And you got he always there for you. In this episode, we got a lot of good news, a lot of exciting news, and I just want to get right into it. We have a lot of topics to get through. There's a lot of exciting news, a lot of updated news. But before we get into all of that, I wanted to go into philosophy, I guess it falls under. In the previous episode, I said 70% of the world is either racist or lame niggas. And after further review, after imitating a job as Earth's ambassador and talking to as many people as 8.1 billion as I can, I was playing. It's not. It ain't 70%, but I'm willing to update it to 62. I think that's fair. I think that's pretty fair. It's like currently I have been in contact with 4,857 humans, and the viable experience, mainly online, of course, it's been below average, to be real with you. Like, I'm trying to see how everybody's doing, and I can't get that far. But I won't keep trying. It has been a journey. But one thing that I've noticed with the 8.1 billion, it's a lot of people, like a majority of people, got this disease. Hard to describe. It's essentially impatience, but it's like deeply rooted. You see it in the YNs. It's like, if you 17, you big bro. If you 20, you unk. And I'm like, damn, how long do you think people are gonna be alive? You see it in driving. People have to create a near miss to break their speed. Like, there's a universal rush. It is in multiple aspects of life. I'm not saying it's the main reason, but that's probably why books aren't so popular. Like, how long do you think it takes some people to get through a book? Like, it's gotten so bad, people calling cap on Obama's yearly list of books I read. Each year, you go through the comments, if it's still there, you can see a higher percentage of cap comments. I'm like, is it so hard to believe somebody got the free time to read a certain amount of books in a certain time period? I think it's the phones and short-term content, but it's not here to leave. It's here to stay. I don't know how bad it's gonna get. I don't know how shortened the attention spans are, but a lot of impatience, like seeping around in the air. You see it in a lot of unexpected areas in life and aspects in life. It's really off-putting if you could keep an eye out on it. Yeah, and another thing I want to say real fast, just one sentence on it. It has become more susceptible to be hater over a dick rider, and I don't understand that, to be honest with you. It's like it's easier to say something's mid out of spite or hate on it than praise something or someone. It's like we can't really get nowhere like that. Then another thing I had on the topic is like that fleeting morality is like, I know I had a small sample size, but it's large enough to notice a few patterns. It's average person has like less and less morals. And if they had to write it down, they wouldn't even need a full page. It's like, where's the line for some people is miles from where you expect it to be. And it'd be over mundane things, albeit, but still, it's a lot of people wouldn't care for certain butterfly effects to be put in place. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's like people treat homeless people and fat people like they're second class humans, and it's like, that's crazy to me. It's like, is that why being broke is so shunned upon? At least in capitalistic America, at the very least. It's like being broke a half a step to being homeless, and once you homeless, is over for you, for your social credit, and you know what I'm saying? Cause it's crazy to me. It's so crazy to me because once you actually do the leg work and talk to a good amount of them, it's really just drug addicts, veterans, peoples whose last ditch effort didn't work in entrepreneurship, like people deserving of mercy, like people who deserves like empathy. Like, you don't feel bad for some of these stories that you like. It's deserving of empathy, but people just treat them so cruelly. Like, I don't understand it, and I just has. Well, I do understand it. It's rooted in capitalism. But yeah, this part that cut out, I was essentially talking about John Wall's retirement and how NBA players should take their retirements in general. I don't know what happened to this portion. It cut out or it got corrupted. Hopefully it won't continue to happen. Throw them up on a random street pole wire in their team, most accomplished team's street at random. Like when LeBron retires, he should have 3 pairs of shoes and throw them up somewhere on the light pole wire in Miami, Cleveland, of course, and LA. I feel like every basketball player should do that. But the player in question I'm talking about is John Wall. He officially hung it up after a decade plus of glorious basketball. One of the most explosive guards, one of the most prolific scorers, one of the most exciting players to watch. He's hung it up, and his running mate is still in the league. Funnily enough, one more chance. He could have went with his running mate Bradley Beal on the old man Clippers and see if he could get a ring as a dark horse. On the topic of sports, football season has started. We got a lot of preseason games underway, and a quick shout out to Shedeur Sanders. His first game in the NFL preseason, mind you, which I don't think people should have a lot of credence on. There's a bunch of hungry players out there wanting to prove to the coaches that they can potentially take the starting spot. They can be second up, you know? Let's not discredit him. I don't think it's relevant equivalency to the NBA Summer League, you know? But Shedeur Sanders, he had a really good first game. 2 touchdowns, some good yards, some good passing yards, and he showed that he can be calm, cool, and collected even on this level of play. But it's still one game. It's still the preseason. But him being the backup, he hopefully could get like a quarter of, official NFL play. But yeah, back to basketball. The season coming up is going to be Chris Paul's last season. He's going to be on the old man Clippers with Bradley Beal, James Harden, Kawhi, of course. That's gonna be one of the more interesting teams to watch. It's gonna be a lot of, especially after this draft, it's gonna be a lot of good teams to watch out for. I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm gonna see what my Pelicans gonna do with Jordan Poole, Zion, I guess, and all the draft picks they got. We got our roster coming into the new season, and it's looking pretty good. And yeah, like the NBA as a whole is gonna be, I would say easier to watch, but with all of these networks you have to subscribe to, I wouldn't feel comfortable saying that. But it's gonna be an exciting season nonetheless. It's gonna be good hoops. It's gonna be people rising. It's gonna be playoff droppers. Hopefully we can get 38 games of Embiid. But yeah, we waiting for it, and we'll see. We'll see who's gonna win. We're gonna see if OKC repeats. But I'm ready for this season. I wanna catch up, be involved in the community. But I can't wait. Yep, it's a new day, and we have new news. But before we jump into the gaming portion, I want to give a shout out to another player in the NBA who retired the same offseason as John Wall. Shout out to Marco Bellinelli. People won't give you your flowers on the amazing career that he had, but I'm gonna give him his flowers. He's one of my top 10 favorite shooters to have watched, and yeah, he deserves his flowers. Unfortunately, it's gonna get overshadowed by John Wall's retirement, But shout out to John Wall. He immediately got a job as an analyst. I would love to see his philosophy and his outtake on the game moving forward. But on to game, man. Thanks to the tariffs, the new prices for the Sony had dropped. The PS5 digital version, and the PS5 Pro all hiked up in price due to, you guessed it, tariffs. But that's neither here nor there. We have more bigger and positive news for the gaming space. Both entities, Sony and Microsoft, has decided to end the console wars. All exclusives moving forward, possibly exclusive that's already been released, you will be able to play Spider-Man on the Xbox. You can play Gears of War on the PlayStation 5. It's been a long time coming to end a stupid ass debate. Because if you participated in the console wars and you're over the age of 15, 16, you just broke. The phone debates, the phone debates I can understand. Why would you have two phones unless you Baby Keem? But the console war's always been stupid to me. Ever since I had a full-time job, I made it a priority to buy both a PlayStation and an Xbox. Now, space issue for both consoles. I had to delete 2K25. It was a long time coming, to be honest, to get Diablo 4 on my system, update Fortnite, and such and so forth. But you know what I got on the other system? Game Pass, you know? Virtually every major AAA title game coming to the PlayStation is going to go towards and be on the Xbox and versa vice. So you don't need both consoles moving forward. Now, Apple versus Android, that's still, that's still a thing. Which is something I want to get into. Like, we could move on to mobile games. I'm primarily going to use it as an excuse to talk about the phone wars, since the console wars has signed a treaty. People hate Androids because they hate green text. Like, I'm sorry, I thought y'all like money. I thought y'all liked the color green. Like, why is green text bubbles so vilified? That makes no sense to me. It never made sense to me. iPhones are so advanced and so many light years ahead of Android phones. Why couldn't you just simply go into the settings and change the green text bubble to another color? You know? It's like, that always grinded my gears. And if you truly love the other person who has an Android, you would have downloaded Skype. You would have downloaded Uvu. You would have downloaded what you needed to download to FaceTime somebody with the other party's phone. And modern Androids have video calling, so what they got left to brag about? A better camera? Like, oh my lord, you have 8.1 billion megapixels to take a picture of your ugly ass, you know? It's like, but that's neither here nor there. But I do think that people should have at least like 4 mobile games, like, just because. Yeah, my mobile games are on point. But I got Belantro, Catan, Clash of Clans, Monopoly, Tavern Rumble. That's an underrated 10 out of 10. While your games are downloading on either system, you can just hop on YouTube for background noise. You can get a mobile game popping and just go from there. But for gaming, it's improving. The new Battlefield beta came and went. I had some good games. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't one of those experiences where my greatest enemy and the person I was fighting against the most is Wi-Fi. The games ran smooth. There's a few cheaters and bugs, but that's gonna get ironed out as time passes. Battlefield 6, it felt good. The weapons were smooth. The maps were pretty good. But I grew up on Call of Duty. No, my first Call of Duty was Call of Duty 3 on the PS3. It was my first online Call of Duty. It was my first, really the last Call of Duty campaign I enjoyed until Black Ops 1. Yeah. I'm excited for this new Battlefield. It looks good. It felt good playing it. Listen to community feedback. They review the submitted gameplay footage and go from there. But what they built so far for a beta, it looks really good. I can't wait. And then the Black Ops 7 trailer was revealed, and I don't know, I've been waiting for gameplay footage on how the zombies look. I'm not gonna play online multiplayer. For zombies on Black Ops 7 looks unique. I'll definitely give it a try. But and as for gaming, the Switch 2, it has some problems. People are reporting issues from overheating to software issues, and I never really been into a lot of Nintendo exclusives. Like Kirby Air Ride is like really the only 11 out of 10 game I played, but the Kirby series as a whole, I'm not really into. I have seen footage of a new Kirby Air Ride. I am interested in that. But the Legend of Zelda games, I've been in and out of. A lot of Nintendo games I have to catch up on. There's just too many good games coming out. I'm excited where gaming is headed. Hopefully things can stay on the up and up and we can have a good gaming experience. But other than these tariffs, other than the hard copy games, there's a few hiccups, but gaming has been improving. I honestly don't know where to begin. There's been a lot of things happening around the world, a lot of moderate and major changes. It's not just me working alone on the 8.1 billion podcast. There are things happening that I would rather a conclusion is met before I fully speak on it, because all it takes is one breaking news article to unwind what I said. But the one thing I can talking about is Trump's antics, tariffs aside. You got everybody on Twitter saying slavery is bad because of a questionable decision he made at the Smithsonian. You know what I'm saying? It's like slavery is bad. And cause I'm searching, I'm talking to new people, I'm echoing the job of Earth's ambassador, and I'm talking to people from countries that has no business being racist towards black people, and it's honestly fascinating. I'm like, how many black people live? What do you know about? How many black people, famous black people, do you know? What do you know about black people? The answer is usually being what they heard from outside sources, what they seen in the news. And I'm like, You from Mongolia? What the happening over there? You know? Never. I'm not gonna go there. There's a lot of grievances from ignorant minds, and I find them more fascinating than irritating. Our president doing his thing, and we just waiting out the 4 years. But yeah, on to the music side of the game. I've been listening to Chance the Rapper's new album, and that nigga pissed me off. His album is called Starline. It's a good album. I'm on my second listen. But one song I wanted to be on there was, I guess, his promotional song for the album called Stars Out. You know, why wouldn't you put a song called Stars Out on your album called Starline? And it's a good song, bro. It's one of his, I'll say, top 7 songs. Stars Out. I don't think it would have fit the vibe of his new album. But I wanted that song to be on there. Other than that, the album is really good. I'm really glad to have Chance the Rapper back in the game. And he has some songs on the playlist. A lot more music coming out. You know what I'm saying? Rap is looking good. Speaking of music, that's the topic we're on after all. We have been getting copyrights. Not from my boy Wallace. Shout out Morocco. Shout out Wallace. Not from him. It's just some of our intros. They won't change. I'm not gonna go back and edit a podcast episode with 20 views. But me and Wallace has been in the background cooking it up. We have been on FL Studio. I'm so glad he has FL Studio because he's been sending me some loops, some beat packs. And yeah, my second album is still being reworked, reconstructed, and it is going to be a vast improvement from my first album. And speaking of which, my first album called Offerings to Atlas, it's trash, but you can see the potential. Listen to the legendary song that I'm about to do a part 2 of. Yeah. Oh, don't listen to this. Don't listen to this one. Don't listen to this one. I ain't gonna lie. It's honestly inspiring going back to the first time you know how to do a bass drop and how to add drums on a beat. But you can only get better from here. Episode 1 will always be worse than episode 70. Whether it's music, podcasting, anything creative, anything you do with your own 2 hands, the first product will always be worse than the 11th product, the 15th product. But good things are coming on the music front. Chance the Rapper, he had a good album. I suggest you listen to it. Summer Walker is coming out with some more music. I've been listening to Young Leash. Yeah, I've been on the horizon. I've been in the shadows, in the bushes, waiting for a certain someone to drop. You know what I'm saying? I think Young Gravy, he was on tour, or he's on tour. That's all for me on the music front. You know what I'm saying? New album coming out soon. Go listen to Chance the Rapper's new album. But yeah, I want to talk about a topic you will never hear me talk about: movies. I have had the fortune and I have had the good time of going to watch a movie called Weapons with somebody's daughter, and it has been, because I don't watch a lot of movies, let alone scary movies. That was really good, and for the fact that it was based on a true story, I'm not. I don't care about spoilers, but I'm not gonna spoil it. I'll give it a. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Look, 8.5 out of 10. It was good. I like the characters. I like the story. Yeah, nice pacing and build up. And they did something rare, which I want to talk about. They actually filmed the scene daytime. And of a scary movie, I want more scary movies to tackle that challenge. Because I've seen scary movies. Well, I don't consider zombie movies scary movies, but I've seen scary movies where the bad guy wins, or the killer or the villain wins. I remember the scene vividly. It was like the messed up family was eating human remains or eating humans in a bowl of soup, and all of them had the main cast of characters tied up, and they was forced to eat this human. I think it was one of the main characters' girlfriend, and he got his get back. He got killed. He killed one of the family members by repeatedly bashing his head on the front porch. He was like, "You made me eat my girlfriend." I was like, "Damn, man. I know some niggas, their girlfriend turned into the moon. You have to eat her." The movie went on, and at the ending, the last survivor had to crank up a car, which honestly, I'll just turn into a track star. You don't trust any, because the main character ran to the stereotypical problem, the car not starting, and the killer was in the back seat and revved up the chainsaw and thrusted the chainsaw through the chair with the car seat and impelled the main character. Well, she the main character because she was the only one alive at that point, and killed her like that. And the movie ended with the killer with the chainsaw leaving the car and going back in the house. And it just had an effect on me. I was like, damn, I've never seen a scary movie where the killer successfully killed off the main cast and the movie just ended like that. I was like, as a kid, I was like, damn, sometimes you don't get no justice. It was this other scary movie. It was a zombie movie where none of the main characters survived either. They tried to reach this boat, but once they reached the boat, the old guy passed away of old age. But how did he manage to bite? Because I think it was like 2 or 3 people left on the boat with the old guy, and he managed to infect/bite the rest of the cast. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. Weapons, based off a true story, 8.5 out of 10. I recommend. As a person who took a few years off watching scary movies, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. But I want to talk about the movie theaters food prices. I spent $45 on an icy, a large drink. It was food for 2, mind you. An icy, a large drink, large popcorn. I had a candy, some pretzel bites. I think that's about it. I see why people making an online challenge to sneak food in. I'm looking at the amount of food we got. The popcorn was amazing, by the way. I don't know what the movie theater does to make a popcorn a 10 out of 10 snack, but I don't know why I'm complaining about the prices. The popcorn was worth the $45, but the popcorn alone would have ran you, a large popcorn ran you like $21. I'm going to see Superman. I'll get around to it. A lot of people said the Superman movie is a 9 out of 10. I'm gonna watch it. I've recently watched Sinners. That's a 10 out of 10. That's a 10 out of 10. That's gonna make up for me not watching a single movie. I shouldn't. I might edit that out, but but yeah, I love Sinners. That's an amazing movie. That's all for the movies portion of the podcast. Oh yeah, and more miscellaneous news of the podcast / the yapping portion. The NFL has announced not too long ago that there will be male cheerleaders. I repeat, male cheerleaders in the upcoming season. And like, people are up in arms. I'm like, how are you more up in arms about male cheerleaders distracting you from the fact that these young men are getting brain damage? But in other miscellaneous news, pictures of Blueface have surfaced from his current stint in jail, and the nigga look happy. The nigga plumped up. He gained like 50 pounds. I think Blueface is happier in jail than he is. Blueface looks like he's, I won't say having the time of his life, but he looks safe. He's safer in jail. But yeah, in other miscellaneous news, to end off the yap portion of the podcast and the miscellaneous news, I gotta say, while scrolling on Twitter, I gotta say, black women are so beautiful. They are a gift to the earth. Black women are just so consistently. You see 10 out of 10s. I'll have to listen to 300 songs before I get a 10 out of 10. I have to play dozens upon dozens of games before I see a 10 out of 10. But on my timeline, on my Twitter, 15 seconds of scrolling, 10 out of 10. It is a gift to the world, gift to my eyeballs. You see beauty. A smile from a certain someone will have you should have you change your ideologies. It's crazy to me, to be honest. Some women who have a face card that will make you want to become a better man. I love my timeline. But there are certain topics that we will not. Well, there are certain topics that I won't bring up on the podcast. If a future guest wants to bring it up, we'll be talking about it. One story that's unfolding is actions. The number of evil actions in the world vastly outnumber the good actions, but good actions vastly outweigh the bad ones. That being said, karma has a backlog. Please don't be on that backlog. Please don't do anything or rationalize any actions with the phrase "fuck it" or "fuck this" or "fuck this person." You know, it will only go downhill from there. The more I idly scroll on my phone, see what the 8.1 billion is doing on camera, it's mostly things that would add. And you know what I'm saying? Like, don't give karma more work than she's willing to dish out. She has a very big backlog. It's like, be kind to each other. But I think that'll be a good note to end off. It'll be another solo episode on the wraps. This has been another episode of the 8.1 billion podcast. Go listen to my album. Go follow the podcast, social media. We are on TikTok. I have an assistant on Reddit. We will keep you updated. So honestly, I'm being more and more discouraged about who I'm doing this for. The Earth's ambassador counter is at 4,891 humans. Next time we do a solo episode, we will update that counter. But shout out to my people in Morocco. Shout out Wallace. And we'll see you guys next time.